We've made it as easy as possible to enjoy your vinyl recordings with the Alva TT turntable. All the complicated calibration is done by the experts at our factory, but there are a couple of relatively simple steps you need to follow in order to get started. Firstly, figure out where you're going to place your turntable. A turntable is an entirely mechanical method of music reproduction. From the stylus that tracks the grooves to the motor that spins it, it can be sensitive to outside influences. A flat surface, away from any potential sources of vibration, is highly recommended. We don't package the turntable with a platter attached. It's heavy, and we wouldn't want it moving around during transit and causing damage. Place it on the base plate over the spindle. The other piece that needs attaching is the tone arm counterweight. We leave this off to save the tone arm from undue stress in the box. Simply push and rotate onto the thread. The next thing to do is set the tracking force. This is the pressure the stylus applies to the record. Too much pressure and the stylus won't track the grooves properly, causing distortion and lost information, as well as causing avoidable wear to your records. Too little and the stylus will jump and potentially damage your collection. So you can see the value in getting it right. A correctly set counterweight makes sure the stylus rests properly in the groove of the record, and you use this force gauge to get the right balance. The tracking force required varies by tone arm and cartridge. The Alva TT tone arm and cartridge combination needs a tracking force of 2 grams. It doesn't sound like much, but when you consider the minute size of the stylus tip, it's plenty. Before you go any further, ensure the bias slider is set to 0. We'll come back to this once we've set the counterweight. Place the gauge on the platter, unclip the tone arm and remove the cover from the cartridge. Rest the stylus on the appropriate point on the gauge, in this case 2. You want the gauge to balance on its pivot point unassisted. It's advisable to make your adjustments with the tone arm in the armrest to avoid potential damage to the cartridge. If the stylus pushes the gauge down, it's too heavy and you'll need to move the counterweight towards the back of the tone arm. If the gauge pushes the stylus up, it's too light. Move the counterweight forward. This part requires a little bit of care and patience. Once you've got the gauge balanced, go back to your bias slider. As a stylus runs through the groove of a record, it's pulled towards the centre. The bias setting allows us to apply an opposite force to ensure that the stylus stays upright and reads both sides of the groove equally, vital for accurate stereo playback. Set the bias slider to position 2 in order to match the tracking force, and we're nearly there. Once you've fitted the dust cover using the supplied hinges, you'll need to decide how to connect your turntable to your amp, wired, wireless, or both. If you choose wired, remember that the Alva TT has a quality phono stage built in. A phono stage is a specialist piece of amplification equipment that can take the tiny level of current generated by the cartridge and amplify it to a level where a regular amplifier can work with it. Some amplifiers also have a phono stage built in. It is vitally important that you don't plug the output from the Alva TT into an amplifier's phono stage input, because it won't sound good and could damage your equipment. Any other RCA analog input is okay. If you go down the wireless route, you'll need to pair the Alva TT with a Bluetooth receiver, either a speaker, an amplifier, or a set of headphones. Ideally, your receiver should be aptX HD certified. No worries if not, the Alva TT supports standard Bluetooth connections, but you won't get the highest quality connection it's capable of. To start the pairing process, we advise turning off all Bluetooth devices other than the Alva TT and the device you want to pair it to. Then activate your device's pairing mode. Turn the Alva TT on, press the Bluetooth pairing button located on the rear for 2 seconds. The blue LED will flash quickly to indicate it's in pairing mode. Once successful, the blue LED will stop flashing and will enter paired mode. A solid light indicates a standard Bluetooth connection, whilst long solid intervals indicates a higher quality aptX HD connection. Once you've paired the turntable, it will automatically pair to the last device, so no need to go through setup again. Finally, and most importantly, sit back and enjoy your record collection.